We have some more breaking news that's coming in. A big diplomatic win for India in the US. US Supreme Court clears Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. Tahawwur Rana to be extradited to India. Tahawwur Rana is 2008 Mumbai terror attack convict. Rana currently detained in Los Angeles. The US Supreme Court has cleared Mumbai attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India as it dismissed a review petition against his conviction in the case. India was seeking the extradition of Rana, who's a Canadian national of Pakistani origin, as he was wanted in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks case. This was Rana's last legal chance not to be extradited to India. Earlier, he'd lost a legal battle in several federal courts, including the US Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco. On November the 13th, Rana filed a petition for a writ of... Gaurav Sawant is joining us on the phone line for more on this. Gaurav, we see this is a major boost in the 2611 trial. Tahawwur Rana will be extradited. What more can you tell us?
So, Major Tahawwur Hussain Rana was a Pakistan army deserter living in Canada and a conspirator with David Coleman Headley in the 2611 Mumbai terror attacks. He had carried out a series of reconnaissance missions in India along with David Coleman Headley, not just in Mumbai, but in several other parts of the country. And he had been hiding both in Canada and in the United States of America. India has been trying for over a decade to have him extradited, but he continued to exploit loopholes in the US legal system. And finally, law has run its entire course and the Supreme Court has denied his petition to remain in the United States of America. And finally, he will be extradited in India. And this is a very important step because now agencies in India can interrogate him at length and find out the wider conspiracy and, more important, Chetna, the local angle. Who were the local supporters of these Pakistani terrorists during the 2611 Mumbai terror attacks? Where all did he go? Who all did he meet? Who were his local contacts and handlers? There are several aspects of 2611, including Pakistan Army's involvement in the worst terror attacks during 2611, when 166 people were massacred by 10 Pakistani terrorists. So those details will now emerge once he's interrogated by the NIA in India after his extradition to India, Chetna.
Right, Gaurav, do you think this will speed up India's efforts to bring back Headley as well?
India has constantly been trying. Of course, I had covered the Headley trial in that Chicago federal court where he gave details of his involvement, of the involvement of Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists, of officers of Pakistan ISI, and those Headley was in touch with during 2611, the handlers in Pakistan, the reconnaissance that Headley had carried out in various parts of India, including at the National Defence College in New Delhi, where he wanted to kill a busload of brigadiers in India and carry out a terror attack. The reconnaissance that he had carried out in various places within the country. So a lot of that information had already come out, including interrogation of Headley. But India is very keen also to have him extradited, and he's also been sentenced to more than 3 decades in prison for his role in various terror attacks, including both Headley and Tahawwur Hussain Rana plotting terror attacks in Europe. So these are Pakistani sleeper cells in the United States of America, in Canada, that are plotting terror attacks, including in Europe. And that shows the danger that's posed by Pakistan's radical Islamist terror to the world. In fact, even now, there are agencies in the United States of America, they're looking at multiple sleeper cells and interrogation, one of Tahawwur Hussain Rana, and subsequently, if possible, even David Headley in future, could shed more light on Pakistan's state role in spreading terror in India and across the world.
Right. Gaurav, do you think with this move now, India's case against Pakistan's sponsored terror is even more watertight?
India's always had a very strong case against Pakistan's state involvement in terror and not restricted just to 2611. But you're absolutely right, Chetna. This will add more heft, especially now when the world is no longer so permissive about radical Islamist terror. The involvement of Pakistan deep state has hardly been, highlighted in the past. So far, India has failed even to have terrorists of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, including the professor of terror Hafiz Mohammed Saeed and that Maulana of terror Masood Azhar, prosecuted and punished in Pakistan for their acts of terror in India, whether it is the attack on the Indian Parliament, whether it is attack on Pulwama or 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Pakistan continues to shield these terrorists. The Pakistan deep state, the Pakistan Army and ISI continue to shield these terrorists, even though some of them have been involved in acts of terror against Pakistan. But you're absolutely right. The interrogation of David Coleman Headley and hopefully Tahawwur Rana will shed more light on the involvement of Pakistani state and ISI in fomenting trouble in India.
Absolutely. Gaurav, for our viewers' understanding, could you explain what exactly was Tahawwur Rana's role in the 2008 Mumbai terror case?
So Pakistan's ISI had plotted a series of terror attacks in India. Tahawwur Rana was a Canadian passport holder. He's a Pakistan Army deserter. He was a doctor in the Pakistan Army. He ran away from Pakistan, was living in Canada. And because he was a Canadian passport holder, and David Coleman Headley or Daud Gilani, he was a US double agent. He was a US passport holder. They managed to come to India easily on an American and a Canadian passport. So they could come to India and did not have to undergo that scrutiny, travel to various places in Mumbai, in Karnataka, in Delhi, and several other parts of the country. And they carried out a series of reconnaissance missions on where all they could have targeted India. For Mumbai also, they targeted the Taj Hotel, Gateway of India, Marine Drive, the Jewish Shabbat House, and several other localities. So they took a lot of pictures, spoke to a lot of people, apparently knew more of sleeper cells. Some of this, of course, remains in the realm of speculation about who were the sleeper cells in India, who were the people that they were in touch with in India as they roamed around. Some information was available about some Mumbai film personalities and their families that David Coleman Headley was in touch with. It's hoped that once Tahawwur Rana is interrogated, and the sad aspect is, even after 26/11, these Pakistani sleeper cells had access to India because of the US and Canadian passport, and it's only subsequently that people of Pakistani origin, irrespective of the country of their passport and nationality, were put to stricter scrutiny. So they were able to carry out reconnaissance missions in India for future terror attacks. Hopefully no more.